Okie dokie. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Meeting of the Mad Hares. We are continuing our discussion of holes. I am super excited because we get to my favorite part. I am joined by Concert Cruiser,
Good evening.
Grumpy Cobalt,
Hello.
and Rusty Helm. How is everyone
Hey,
doing this
y'all.
week?
Doing
Doing
good,
pretty
doing
good.
very
Doing
good.
good.
Doing very good.
Excellent. Okay, well, where we left off, Stanley had just figured out what he had actually found, and it was not a shotgun casing or anything of the sort. It was a lipstick container. A lipstick container very likely owned by the bandit kissing Kate Barlow. Who would like to pick up where we left off?
Not me.
The majority of these people are a-holes.
Well, duh. I mean, come on.
The cast is a series of delinquent teenage boys, some questionable authority figures, and a wrongly accused boy who are all stuck in the middle of a desert digging holes. Who in this situation is supposed to be, quote unquote, not an asshole?
Well, there's that, and then there's also like the religious zealots in history that we get to that we get to this part.
I wouldn't classify them as a religious zealot. I would call them a product of their time, seeing that back then everyone was basically a racist.
Yeah, that's. And I also just really appreciate how they handled that in the book too, because it doesn't hit you over the head with it. It's just the right amount.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like everyone. It's like it's over 100 years ago in Texas. Everyone was a racist, sadly, back then. Basically.
Yeah,
But-
pretty much. I mean,
But to clarify what we are talking about, as we are entering chapter 23, we are introduced to the prim and proper school teacher, Catherine Barlow, who is a beloved school teacher in the small town of Green Lake, Texas.
Yep.
This was back 110 years ago, and back then, it was not a desert. It was actually a very lush and thriving community on the banks of a rather large lake, the largest lake in Texas. It's like, as I stated, like, this is probably my favorite. I love the love story between Catherine and Sam. It's a love story, but it's also a tragedy because everyone's an asshole.
yeah, didn't she actually say like, "Go ahead, kill me. I don't care."
Later on, yes. The overarching story is basically Kate is obviously a white woman who is an educated woman of the time, teaching both children in the day and then adults at night. There is a jerk who thinks that just because he has money, everyone should do what he says and he should get what he wants. And right now, he wants Kate. But Kate, who is a thinking human being, does not want this jerk for a husband. She does, however, have a developed fancy for Sam the Onion Man. Sam is a black man, but he is a man who knows how to get things done and is actually kind of sweet.
I would say a good, hardworking, simple man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always appreciate someone who has a strong work ethic.
Yes. Because
Same.
Sam and Kate kind of fall in love when Sam offers Kate to fix up the schoolhouse because it's a rundown single room schoolhouse in the middle of nowhere. Of course, it's going to fall into disrepair over time, but Sam was able to fix it, and over the course of weeks, the two get to know each other better. We find out that Sam is not just as simple as we think he might be. He actually might be a little bit well read, or at least he's heard enough that he actually can quote poets like Edgar Allan Poe and I think Shakespeare actually too. But he seems, but like, yeah. But because of the times, they sadly cannot be together, and someone catches them kissing when they thought they were alone, and this ends up leading to the execution of Sam.
Yeah, it's like the very next day they burned the schoolhouse down because they called Kate a devil woman, was it?
Yes.
And the sheriff is completely useless and drunk.
Mm-hmm.
And when Kate catches up to Sam and warns him, he tries to run off, but the rich idiot, uh, just so conveniently or inconveniently, got himself a new state-of-the-art boat that caught up to him, and they executed Sam in the middle of the lake.
Yep. They shot Sam, fished Kate out of the water, and just to add insult to injury, they shoot Mary Lou, who was Sam's donkey. I find that was very unnecessarily.
Yeah, what was the point
Very.
of giving her the donkey?
Insult to injury. That's literally the
Enragement.
point.
You
Like,
do stupid things when you're enraged.
I get that, but it's a fucking dog. I mean, like, aren't those considered valuable in these times of during that time? Like, that's the closest thing
When
you had to a car,
when you had it
and
when
you
someone has a
killed it.
steamboat, I don't think so. I don't know.
I think it's just the offset the mentality of mob mentality. There probably wasn't a lot of thinking done at that time.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yep. But Kate, who was pulled out of the lake, and the man that she loved had been killed in front of her eyes, and everyone has basically turned their backs on her. She's just like, you know what? F it. I'm entering my villain era. And she goes in, and her first victim is the sheriff. And he got that kiss he was wanting after a bullet got into his brain. But yeah.
And thus the origin of kissing Kate Bandit is born.
Kissing Kate Barlow. And as we leave Sam and Kate in the past of history, we go back into Stanley's story. Well, actually, first,
Yeah,
let's finish up Kate's thing. Kate was on a rampage for 20 years as a bandit and bank robber. And over those 2 decades, she got quite a bit of loot.
And during that time, ran into Stanley's great-great-grandfather?
Great-grandfather.
Great-grandfather.
Yes.
Now, I can't quite remember this. Like, how exactly, like, are we the audience being told this? Did someone find like a diary or something?
Flashbacks.
Flashback. Got it. Okay.
This is just flashbacks.
Okay.
Because, like, remember, there are, like, 3 different timelines, and they're just flashbacks, and they eventually will converge in Stanley's story. But, yeah. But, hey.
Sorry.
So I'm trying to remember. It starts out with kind of things going as usual, but Stanley being deprived of water.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
like,
Mr. Sir is still very salty about what happened with the warden and being very vindictive towards Stanley.
it's like, yeah. Thankfully, Mr. Sir is not the main person who drives the water truck, or Stanley would probably be in some serious trouble.
Yeah.
Like, serious chances of getting, like, heat stroke it, or, like, some serious dehydration.
Or whatever else that Sir put in his water canteen. I
don't
have a
want to think
hunch,
about
but
what that man did.
yeah, no. The less we think about that, the better. Fortunately, Stanley has a good head on his shoulders and decided not to test that either.
Yeah. But yeah. Well, things are going pretty standard. Eventually, Mr. Sir gets over his petty vendetta against Stanley to the point where he's actually giving him water again. Thankfully, during that, also, Mr. Peninsky did let Stanley have a little bit more water. He would, like, let him have a drink and then top him back off, because it's like, at least the guy has some sense of, like, if we have a camper collapsing from dehydration, that's going to probably lead to some investigation from some authority figures at some point. And we can't have that, because...
Because, Lord knows that if the authorities, made an investigation of this place, there'd be, several violations.
Yeah, that's an understatement. But it kind of all went kabooey when Zigzag's birthday rolled around.
I know. Talk about being obnoxious on your birthday. Good grief.
Oh my gosh. The only thing worse than be like, it's my birthday. Can I get this? This is my birthday. Can I get that? It's the only thing more annoying is like people who do that, like, it's my birthday week. It's my birthday month. I'm just like, oh gosh.
It's my birthday. It's my birthday. How I spend my money. Get it?
It's my birthday and I'll cry if I want to. Cry if I want to. Yeah. But yeah, it's like it eventually gets to the point where teenage boys will niddle each other and basically be absolute jerks to each other. And it ends up getting around that they let it slip that Zero had been digging a little bit of Stanley's hole in exchange for learning.
I don't understand why that's such a faux pas, though. I mean, it's a fair trade.
Well, here's the thing. They are quote-unquote here to build character. And if you're not doing the character-building exercise, it kind of defeats the point.
Okay, touche.
But also, yeah, they don't have to niddle at Zero. But if they didn't, we wouldn't have a plot. And also, we wouldn't end that section with a little bit of assault in the form of Mr. Poninsky's head being introduced quite violently with the shovel via Zero.
Yeah, because they were getting on Zero hard. Well, I mean, they've been getting on Zero. They've been getting on Zero ever since the start of this book. Was like, yeah, I don't blame Zero for what he did. I probably want to do it myself.
I can understand it. But that's not going to end well for him, I hope. But he ends up running off into the desert. And because I think Zero, got tossed there from a juvie system, and he didn't have any family. He just got tossed there by the courts. It's kind of like, okay, we're just going to pretend this person never existed, and Stanley wasn't too cool with that.
No, and any kind of respect or sympathy that I had for Peninsky in this went straight out the window because he was perfectly complicit with it.
I know.
It's like all the counselors were perfectly complicit with this. No one in the position of authority at this place are good by any stretch of the imagination.
No, because Peninsky, I believe it was him, was perfectly willing to scrub all evidence that Zero was even there off the record, so they wouldn't be blamed for Zero's permanent disappearance, as they thought.
Well, like, no one would come looking for him, because he didn't have anyone as far as they knew. But Stanley was not liking that, and he didn't like it anymore when after 4 days, which is a reasonable expectation of someone being left in the middle of the desert to die of exposure and or lack of water, 4 days later, a new person shows up to camp and takes Zero's vacant spot in Camp D, in Cabin D.
Yep.
So yeah. It's like Stanley can't get his friend out of his mind, so when Twitch, who is at Camgree Lake because of his sticky fingers when it comes to being around cars, has this wonderful idea of, what if I take this truck that has a crap ton of water with it and go and find my friend? It didn't end well.
Brilliant plan, very poor execution.
Exactly. Exactly. Because the water truck does not do you any good, Stanley, when it is teetering into a 5-foot hole.
And then after he runs from the truck, it's like, if only it at least filled his canteen before he ran off. It's like, that's a brilliant idea. I wish I'd thought of that.
Yeah. So Stanley also goes running into the desert. Absolutely no water. And that leaves an even bigger problem for the warden, because unlike Zero, or Hector, as we had found out his actual name is, Stanley has family. Stanley has family who are actively in communication with him, and who would come looking if they all of a sudden could not get a hold of their son. So that's going to cause them problems. And I'm not exactly sure how many other trucks they have available outside of the water truck at that
Especially
facility.
in the desert.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, like, don't they have like a pickup truck and a water truck, or were they using the water truck for like a double duty?
I think the pickup truck was the water truck.
Okay.
Like, I think the warden herself had her own personal car, but outside of that, I don't remember much talk about the vehicles. And if they have them easily available, because those would have to be under lock and key, especially seeing that would be easy for a couple people to hijack a car and drive out of there.
Yep.
But yeah.
And going back to Zero or Hector, did we ever also point out that his last name is Zeroni?
Hmm?
Yes, it is. Yes, his name is Hector Zeroni.
That is, like, part of me wants to laugh at that name. I'm going to be honest with you.
It can be kind of a silly sounding name, but also it means that he is a descendant of...
It's like you have Zero Macaroni.
Yeah.
But that also means that he is at least possibly, i.e. totally related to Madame Zeroni, who Stanley's great no good rotten pig stealing great grandfather was supposed to help, but could never find, but didn't after that whole pig debacle.
I love that you fit in the pig stealing thing.
Of course.
Yeah, it definitely raises some interesting, like, what's going to happen to the plot.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's like going back a little bit. We do get mention of something from Stanley's great grandfather, who, after he was robbed by Kissing Kate Barlow, he had found refuge on what he called God's thumb. And Stanley, as like he's sitting out on that dry lake bed day after day, he starts to kind of like be able to make out in the distance this mountain range, and one of the particular peaks kind of looks like someone giving the thumbs up hand signal. And he starts thinking, it's like, Kissing Kate Barlow probably was out here at some point. And no one really knew what my great-grandfather was talking about when he said God's thumb, and the guy was delirious from dehydration and being stuck out in the middle of nowhere for weeks on end. What's the chances of that actually being God's thumb, where my great-grandfather somehow survived 3 weeks without any food or water? It's like, what's the chances? It's like, it's not like it's something that the plot needs or anything, but yeah, that's totally where he was.
Yeah.
So while Stanley is stumbling about in the desert, hopefully, possibly praying to God that he is able to find his friend alive, preferably, he is making his way in the direction of what he thinks is that mountain range that he pegs for being what was and might possibly be what was his great-grandfather's salvation, and what possibly, hopefully, will be his and his friends.
Yeah, as long as he can stay, as long as he can steer clear of all the mirages.
Yeah, thankfully he only really ran into one, and he quickly realized, wait a second. Nah, that's not what I think it is. I have lost my train of thought. There it goes, tumbling down the ravine. Bye-bye.
You missed your train?
I missed my train. Oh, we found Zero.
Yes. Half it's like half starved with thirst, but he's still alive.
Hey, he's still alive after 4 days on his own in the middle of a desert. I say that kid's doing okay, and probably better than I would have.
Yeah, living 4 days off of sploosh, whatever sploosh is.
Giving context clues, it's probably 120-year-old spice peaches.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, it's probably the spice peaches that Kate gave Sam as a trade for his work on the schoolhouse, which means that's over 100-year canned preserves. And I think the only reason why Stanley and Zero are not more sick after eating that stuff is probably because A, the seal on the one Stanley ate was still intact, and B, the honey probably helped, I guess.
Well, that and also, didn't Zero say that he ate like 15 of those 16 jars of it?
Well, like, okay, so here's the thing. Most of those jars of sploosh, that we're just going to call it, of the 16 jars that he was able to eat, because him and Stanley shared the last one. 4 of them, I think, were easily opened by Zero, which means the seal was not secured properly, I would say, or
I thought that the ones that he wasn't able to like open up regularly, he used the shovel to break open the top.
yeah. He's like, he was able to get he had to open most of them like that. But the point I'm trying to make is he ate from those jars that were easily opened, which meant that the seal on them was probably not airtight if he was able to get them open. And kids don't eat 100-year-old preserves. They're not good. It's like, even like canning, they're only supposed to be able to, there's only good for like a year, maybe 2 if you're lucky, but don't eat something that old without knowing
nothing
what it is.
lasts. Nothing lasts forever. Okay, not even Twinkies. Okay.
I would argue honey is probably the only exception, but that's like the only food thing that does not spoil.
I know sugar doesn't, but again, I don't understand why you would eat 100-year-old sugar.
Because you're in the middle of a desert and that is your
That'll
only
make it
full
worse.
source of food. Huh?
That'll make it worse. Won't it? I mean, won't that dehydrate you?
No, that would be salt.
Salt dehydrates. Sugar will at least give your body fuel. Because your body
Well, it'll
usually
kill me, I'm
breaks
diabetic.
down food and turns it into sugars, which is used as a fuel for your body. It'll be if it's like just like refined sugar, or honey would probably be better, because like honey I believe is the only food staple that does not go bad outside of like very extreme circumstances. Like it can crystallize, but it's still edible.
Mm-hmm.
They were
Yeah.
preserved in honey. But yeah, it's like I think it's like he probably got some bad bacteria, obviously, when he ate the ones that were easily opened, which is the point I was making.
Mm-hmm.
And even if they were like still airtight, it's like 120-year-old spice peaches. It's like
That is,
regardless if it was airtight or not, that's probably not exactly something you would recommend eating.
yeah, I would not recommend eating something that's 100 and something years old. That would not be my recommendation when it comes to safe food, because botulism is a thing. Which,
Yeah. Although when you're like 4 days out in the desert and have literally nothing else to eat, it's like desperate times.
But yeah, they did it.
Yeah, and Zero's starting to feel the side effects.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
probably experiencing some drastic, from his symptoms, he's probably like a very bad case of food poisoning. Because I'm looking at the symptoms of food poisoning versus botulism, and it does not seem botulism matches up, but food poisoning with the stomach cramps definitely is. The kid should not have eaten that, but again, he was in a life or death situation.
Yeah, desperate
Yeah.
times.
Desperate times call for desperate measures. So, Stanley tries to convince Zero to come back to camp with him. Zero is just like, nah, I'm good. And I can't blame the kid. Because
No,
I honestly wouldn't put it past it, and this is where my brain goes when I get a little bit too dark in my little head cannons. I wouldn't be surprised if someone shot Zero if he came back.
If who
I
came
wouldn't
back?
put it past them.
If Zero
If who
went
came
back to
back?
camp, I
Oh.
won't be surprised if if they shot him. Stanley, they would probably have to threaten into silence, but
Hmm.
they could always say he may try to make a run for it or something, or I don't know.
That's like
I don't know.
they already convinced in their heads that Zero would not be missed.
Mm-hmm.
I would
But
think
yeah,
his family would miss him.
Zero doesn't have any
Who?
family as far as they know.
Well, I thought you're the wrong person. I bet.
It's like Stanley's family would definitely miss him, and that's where we're coming up some issues with the warden. Because Zero, she could probably actually erase from the system without much issue. Stanley, on the other hand, she can't. I would bet his mother would cause quite a ruckus if she had to come down to that camp and no one could tell her where her son was.
Hmm.
Mama Bear mode activated.
Yeah, you only thought the warden was scary.
Yeah. Don't mess with Mama Bear. But,
Do
yeah.
not mess with mom bears. Nope.
But with Zero actively refusing to go back to camp, Stanley makes the decision of, we're going to do basically a Hail Mary, and we're going to see if we can get up to God's thumb, and see if what saved my great-grandfather is still up there and will be of help to us. So let's go
Lord.
climbing mountains after a trek through the desert and bring along my friend who hasn't had water in 4 days. What can go wrong?
Said Bubsy. Thanks for getting that.
It's funny how that's usually the first thing that comes to my mind when, what could possibly go wrong?
Oh, good grief. Oh, that orange cat, I swear.
I feel so bad for him at times.
Yeah, I did hear that he's actually getting a good sequel coming up this time around.
Yeah, actually, I heard the same thing. I'll be curious to see what it's like.
Note to self,
Yeah, I am
insert
too.
Bubsy clip.
I'm sure it's out there.
Oh, I know it's out there. I've seen people do, like, video essays over Bubsy. I've also seen their attempt at a TV show, which flopped spectacularly from what I've heard.
Well, according to the voice of Bubsy, Rob Paulson, he said, there is one good thing that came about this TV show. He got paid.
Very true.
Very true. As long as people got paid, that is at least the one good thing that happens with horrible television. Someone got paid and was able to put food on their table for their families and a roof over their head.
Yeah.
And that's why I have no qualms with laughing at poorly done media, because then, as long as people got paid, it does not hurt them to laugh at it.
Well,
And who knows, it might end up with a very small royalty check heading their way depending on how things were handled on the legal side of things.
Well, hey, I met Greg Sestero from The Room, and he's been able to make a living off that movie.
But yeah, so as we close out this week, Stanley and Zero are making their way up to God's Thumb. Stanley is doing okay, Zero not so much. The poor boy has food poisoning and probably needs a doctor. Any other comments, questions, or concerns?
The only concern really is for Hector at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, the desert's not a safe place to be.
No,
Actually,
not for a healthy person, much less for someone with suffering from food poison. So
mm-hmm.
Now, granted, with food poisoning, it doesn't necessarily kill you, but it does get you very sick. And, out there in the dead hot sun, it's going to make things worse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because, also, food poisoning, it is very easy to get very, very dehydrated. And on top of that, he doesn't have access to water at this point, which is compounding the issue. So he needs to either A, find water very soon, or B, get help.
We're pulling for you, Hector.
We're pulling for
Yeah,
it. We are going for Hector.
yeah, what a cliffhanger to leave off of this week. Huh?
Yes. But yeah, we're going to actually be finishing up this book within the next week. And so, yeah. But yeah, just another 60, 70 pages and we're done.
Oh, that was quick.
It's not a hard book to get through. If I was just reading this by myself, I probably could have gone through it in a weekend.
It was easier than the last book that we had to do. Murder at Bishop's Keep.
That one wasn't too bad either. You want to talk about hard books to get through. I am still debating if I want to do the final Lord of the Rings book or a different book. Oh, come on. You could easily find an audiobook of that one. I would probably do the audiobook of that one.
We've already gone through 2 books. Might as well finish the third one.
That was my thought.
Like there was one book I was thinking about doing for this, but I'm not so sure because because for starters, not sure if there's a digital copy of it or anything, but it's called Year of the Black Rainbow by Claudio Sanchez, and the first chapter alone is 50 pages.
That doesn't really mean anything.
It's a long read, but probably not as long as Lord of the Rings.
We've had some we've had some long reads apart from Lord of the Rings. Trust
That scares me.
us. uh oh well, let me think.
Oh my
Crap.
gosh!
Stephen King is my enemy.
Physical
What?
copies of this book are going for $200 to $300.
Oh, you're the Black Rainbow? Yeah, it's kind of rare.
I would have to get this on Kindle.
I did see for the Year of the Black Rainbow has like a 4.8 out of 5 rating.
Yeah, that was actually pretty highly rated. It has a 4.8 on Amazon and a 4.1 on Goodreads.
Well, I'm willing to let that be my choice. Just like I said, I'm not sure how comfortable I feel with leading the discussion.
Well, it's like you can always take notes and you can always be like, "Hey, I need help."
Okay, we'll do that, I guess.
Okay, so do we want to do Cruiser's book next?
Yeah, I'm willing to give it a shot.
Grumpy?
Sure, we can. What was the name of the title one more time?
Year of the Black Rainbow.
Year of the Black Rainbow. Okay.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I think-
basically a prequel to the comic book series that goes with their music, the Amory Wars.
It's like I am
I mean, I
seeing
don't-
like some stuff. The art of this comic actually looks pretty interesting. At least from the covers I'm seeing.
It's actually a pretty cool sci-fi story, or a space opera, as they call it.
Mm-hmm. I still can't get over how much this prequel book is worth. Because the comics seem reasonably priced at like 14, it was like 15 to $20.
I know hardbacks are usually worth a bit more. I think also it's because it's been the only printing they've done, at least physically.
It's a single printing. Oh,
Yeah.
that explains it. Okay.
Mm.
It was a limited release. That's why.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
And like I know like they're about to do a second printing, years later, and I think even maybe a graphic novel version of the story. But yeah, it's really, to me, this band really fascinated me and like I said, they inspired me to do my own book with music project. And basically, the singer Claudio Sanchez, he always said he had trouble expressing himself when he was writing songs and especially lyrics. So he wrote a comic book series, and then that were about those experiences in his life, and then just wrote the songs around those. Okay, so we are finishing up Holes.
Yes. Next week we will be finishing up Holes. After that, we're probably going to take a chill week, and we'll probably just watch Holes.
It'd be interesting to actually do a comparison of watching the movie and seeing how it's different from the book.
Yeah, and then probably by that time we can all have either downloaded a digital copy of your book and go from there. We'll probably just read. We'll probably be depending on you, seeing that you have a physical copy of the pages we should read. So I'll probably be asking you about that. But seeing that you said the first chapter is 50 pages long, probably we'll just stick to that. But that is 3 weeks out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any other final comments, questions, or concerns concerning our reading for this week?
I think I'm good. I think I'm good for now.
Okay, wonderful. We will be back next week, as I said, finishing up Holes. Then we'll take a break week, and then we will be on Cruiser's pick, which will be Year of the Black Rainbow. And I'm interested. I don't read much sci-fi. This should be interesting. Anyway, that'll be all for today, guys. I hope everyone has a wonderful week, and we'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.